All right, y'all. We are live once again. It is No Panties After Dark. So we want to let's go check out Facebook and let everybody know that we're here. Go check out YouTube. Remember, folks, y'all can check us out on YouTube at No Panties After Dark. You can also check us out again, Facebook, No Panties After Dark Show. Let's see, Spotify, right? No Panties After Dark Show. Instagram, No Panties AD, right? Check us out there. Mm-hmm. And I know I did not start a live for IG, but I may get into doing that here in a second. But how's y'all's week been?
Who want to go first?
How's y'all's week been?
Mine's pretty eventful. You know, I was busy all weekend. I was working a lot, hung out with some friends, met some interesting, cool people. So I had a good weekend.
Yeah, there you go. Hung out with some friends. See, I knew you could have looked at the show, but it's all good. Totally yourself. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. What's up, Gigi? How was your week?
It was again, it was a tough week, but one good thing about it is I did celebrate my birthday Sunday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Well, for the rest of the July, I'm going to be celebrating. So,
how old are you? 30? You just turned 30?
Mm-hmm. Period.
Yes. Check you out. Black don't crack.
At all.
That's what I'm saying. Look at y'all. Look, y'all see that?
Looking at a day over 25, just turned 30.
Exactly.
I tried. Thank y'all.
What about you, John?
Y'all need to share the vibe. I don't know.
I had a decent weekend. You know, I went out of town and I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it was cool. It was cool. It was my first time out there, and you know, I went out there and I felt the ancestors. Ooh. You know, I felt the energy. Now, but you know, it was dope. I remember we were down on Greenwood, right there outside of the museum, and I was out there with my son. It was just me and my son standing there, and my son, my youngest, is 9 years old. He'll be 10 later this year, and I'm sitting there talking to him, telling him about what occurred here. You know, the story of Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. And, you know, it was a couple people that walked by and they were like, yeah, bro, keep doing that. Keep doing that up. And I said, you know, if I don't tell them, you know, I can't trust the schools to tell them.
Right. Because we didn't learn about this in school.
Exactly. Because y'all gotta remember that the Tulsa massacre, they only even acknowledged it since the 80s. It was like the first time it even was acknowledged that it happened outside of the people that knew. So, you know, that's just a kind of a crazy thing when you really look at it. And it's kind of wild that's a thing. But, you know, we have to be the ones to make sure that we pass that information on, to make sure that we inform others, those that come past us, you know, we got to make sure that they know, man. I don't believe in running around tearing down statues and stuff like that, because that stuff doesn't bother me. Because here's the facts. If in fact we leave that stuff up, then guess what? We are doomed to follow the same path again. Why? Because there won't be anything there to remind us of what happened. Right? And we can't trust books and historians and stuff like that because, you know, the traditional media out there, they're not going to, you know, share that story. So with that in mind, you know, we got to be the ones to pass on that torch. And so it was a dope time out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hey, I see some people, more and more people jumping on. Make sure y'all give us a shot. When y'all come on the show, let me tell y'all something. I don't care whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on IG or whatever. because we are live as of right now on IG. I don't care where you at. Make sure you chime in and say what's up.
Right, and I'm interacting in the comments. I'm in the comments on Facebook.
Jake?
So I'm
Hey, I'm gonna
My
share.
man's right there. That's a dope brother right there. Hey, appreciate you, fam. Absolutely. So, with that being said, hey, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in and do the timeline review. But first, let's go ahead and let them know we're here.
Celebrate your queen, elevate your king. Celebrate your queen, elevate your king. Celebrate your queen, bro. Elevate, celebrate your.
She looks like it. 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 What the deal? What the
like
deal?
Chocolate candy.
Tell me how you feel. How you
She
feel?
looks like it.
Yeah.
She looks like it. She looks like it. She looks like it. She looks like it. She looks like it.
What the deal? What the
Like
deal?
a chocolate candy.
Tell me how you feel. How you
She
feel?
looks like it.
Yeah.
She
Vote Senator Mac.
Just because, bro. Like, I'm just saying.
She
All right,
about to
so-
change for that.
Yeah, she was out the chain. Vote Senator Mack. Wonder who all voted.
Trying to start
That would
the
be
camera
funny.
back. I was trying
You know
to
what would be
share.
dope? You know what would be
They're
dope
live.
is if, in fact, they would go down the list and show the list of everyone who voted for Senator Mack after she did that whole thing. That would be funny as hell. That would be hilarious. That would be
Right.
hilarious.
Hey,
What's up,
I'm
Kenny
sure it was
Thomas?
people that voted for her.
Absolutely. What's up, Kenny Thomas? What's up, Trey Jackson? What's up, family? Hey, like he said, got my vote. That's what's up. All right, so look, timeline review. This is where we actually go to our own timeline and we chop it up and show some of the stuff that we've been posting on our own No Panties After Dark timeline. This is the greatest, livest relationship show in the world. So we want to go ahead and show this timeline here. So anything special, specific that I should be going to, ladies?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I was slacking on my Mac in this last weekend, so I ain't really posted as much as I normally post, but it's a few things in there.
Man, but she went out with friends.
Well, you know, I was posting some couple things, so anything, I'm game for anything.
So look, let's see what we got here. What is this? I've made a sandwich at 3 a.m. after a job well done. What say you, ladies? Are you getting up and getting that man a sandwich or nah? Baby J says, if a man is paying the bills and taking care of your needs, then making him a sandwich at 3 a.m. shouldn't be an issue if he asks. I mean, so what? Y'all saying no?
I'm saying, like, I have actually gotten up and made a sandwich. Remember that
Right.
Tamia song, A Sandwich and a Soda? It was a job well done. That brother earned that shit. I was like,
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
You need me to fluff your pillow? Let me go. I was.
If we already up, no. I surely
skipped
don't
my
mind.
ass to the kitchen and made that man a sandwich, got him a soda, like you need, got the warm rag, all of that. Job well done. I'm gonna do all of that. Job well done.
What was
you-
a warm rag for? What was a warm rag
'Cause
for?
we was being grown. It was
Oh,
he
okay.
did it.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I was
We
thinking
was
that's what
being
the warm rag was for. So
Yeah. I was happy to do it.
so let's see.
Or wait, or T,
Put
you can
your,
make some after breakfast sex waffles that Risha got on her blog. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I'm gonna do that next time. I did
Hey,
make breakfast
hey.
next
Right,
morning
after
too.
So-
sex and waffles.
Gigi, are you getting up at 3 a.m. if your man asks for a sandwich?
Oh, we already up, but if I'm asleep,
No.
What?
If
no. I'm telling you, ask me a question, I'm answering. If I'm asleep, my answer is get your no. Why your fat ass eating that? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't you got to go to work in the morning? But if we already up, no, hell no.
Why he got to be a
Don't
fat
eat at 3
ass
o'clock
though?
in the
Why
morning
can't he
anyway,
be cock
if we
diesel?
sleep. If he wants something at 3 o'clock in the morning and where everybody sleep, and he just up watching TV and want a sandwich, want me to get up and fix it, then he a fat ass. We fat bitching it. But if we not fat bitching, if we already up and we didn't have
Man,
some grown up
you're not doing
relationships and stuff, no, I don't mind. Of course not. But if I'm asleep, I'm not getting up out of my sleep when he can get up on his 2 he got 2 hands, 2 functioning feet, and 2 functioning legs, and go in there and make his own sandwich. If I'm asleep, if I'm not asleep, that's something different. But if I'm asleep, why would I wake up and go make a sandwich and he come in?
I'm just saying.
We're not that bitch tonight.
You got to stick it up and get that brother some nourishment.
Yeah, he might be starving, baby. He just got home from
unless he just got off work. If he just got off work, that's something different. But if he not off,
all these stipulations.
Girl, and he come out off work, just leave his plate in the microwave, okay? Just leave
there we go. Period.
That's love, right there.
We don't have right.
That's love. Absolutely, that's love.
Yes, I'll definitely do that. I'll have no problem doing that.
Okay, so here, let's peep this. This is 9 questions to ask on a first date, according to divorce lawyers, right? So let's peep what this is all about.
We're gonna learn something today.
Yeah,
right.
When was the last time you talked to your siblings or parents? Okay, 9. Hold on, this is 9 questions to ask on a first date. I don't think you should be asking about nobody's siblings or parents. I think that's a question you shouldn't ask on it.
If that's a deal breaker, then you're not gonna want to date me.
I mean, I put it this way: if you speed dating and you trying to hurry up and figure out who this person is, okay, I get it, because you ask certain questions about their family, things of that nature. You're gonna learn real quick as to who that person is. If you ask him about his mama and he say, "Man, that bitch is crazy," then right then and there you probably don't want to date him. You don't want to date him. Because he
I want to know, do you love your mama? Do you love your mama? If you love your mama, then we good.
Do you believe in happily ever after? I think that's a good first date question.
That's a good one.
Think?
That is. Because you don't want to waste your time with somebody who doesn't believe in it if that's what you want. Like, this ain't gonna go nowhere.
And if they don't want to get married, some people don't want to get married. Those are things that you need to know up front. If you're just looking to date for the rest of your life, then obviously it's gonna be the last date.
Exactly. So I think that's a good. Now, are you married? Now, I think that you should probably ask that before the first date. That's just me.
Listen, I learned that lesson. The hard way. The hard way.
I think we should add to that list. Do you date trans women or anything like that?
You just gonna make me
because if you feel like you date trans women or any type of thing like that, or women who were born men, to me that's a deal breaker. And you wouldn't believe how many men out there.
What if he dates women that were born women that are now men?
Then those are trans men. Those aren't trans women.
No trans. He can't date he can't be no New World Order dude at all.
No,
not for me. Not for me.
She said if you was messing around with the clay coochie, she don't want it.
So Gumby is out of the question. You can't date Gumby.
No clay coochie.
Wait a minute. Who said clay?
The clay. Y'all don't watch Funky. Y'all don't watch.
Just molded it together.
That
thing down.
And they used to
put the little part in the middle.
They used to rise like brush the. You ain't never watched Funky the Neva. He'll tell you my coochie made of clay.
Who?
No.
That's a conversation for another show.
You might need to send us that. We might need to go look at that.
Right.
Okay, so what do you love most about your job? That's number 4. I think that's a good dating question.
That's a good question.
Or do you have a job?
Right.
Do you have a job? Are you employed?
Well, I mean, yeah, you.
Some people
I think that should be like a sub.
How do you get
some
your
people
most
retire or retire in my age group? Some people like who went to the military for 25 years, they may be retired already. So are you retired?
Okay.
So retired? Yeah. So that's
okay. So how do you get your money? How do you get your money?
Do you have money coming in?
Well, if you ask him what do you love most about your job, then that should bring out all of that, right? If unless what do you love most about your job? The fact that I don't have one, that's what I love most about my job.
I live a life of leisure.
You know what I mean? Don't come to my house. My mama be there. You got to come after 4. She goes to work.
No, I dated a drug dealer before, and I didn't know I was dating a drug dealer until like after we had been like on several dates. So how do you get your money? I learned lots of lessons the hard way. That's a good question.
Did he? I mean, so he didn't dress. He didn't have drug dealer tendencies along the way.
No,
you know,
he was real cool. Like he courted me. He was real cool. But this is how I found
Right.
out. We were going somewhere, and he stopped at a red light, and he reached over, opened up the glove box, and pulled out a bat phone, and made a deal, and was like, "I'm gonna go drop you off at the crib. I gotta go handle some business."
A bat phone.
Not
Yeah,
the bat phone,
the burner phone. The burner phone.
burner.
Okay,
The little prepaid phone. And that's when I realized, like, I was like, okay, hold on. This man is more than just he's a rapper. And he had a nice apartment. And I was like, he's a rapper with a nice apartment and a nice car. I was like, this is how he's getting his money. I didn't see him no more.
Right.
Wow. Sneak in your window at your mom's house. Shout out to Kim Nardi.
Hey,
Shout out Leonard Walker. Shout out Trey Jackson. Shout out Mr. Esoteric Concepts.
Hey, everybody.
The whole family
Hey,
here. Shout out Brandon Love. Shout out Courtney Peoples. That's what's up.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
So
I haven't shared it.
I don't understand this one. Do you know who Johnny Carson is? Like, I don't get that one. Basically, find a way to ask today how old they are. But shouldn't you just ask them how old they are?
But wait a minute. Now, people don't always tell the truth because remember, we talked about this last week.
We did talk about
that guy. I went out with that guy and he told me he was 36, 36, and he was 42, and I was 26.
Hey,
that's what's up. Hey, it's right. Look in Louisville.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna barter. I'm gonna use the barter system.
Yeah,
because she does hair, right? She do dreads.
Yes,
and all that stuff.
She did the flyer, the other flyer, the alternate one. She made that for us.
Oh.
Hey, Leonard.
Hey, we want to buy that from you, okay?
Get her.
Absolutely. So, look.
Let's talk about the age question.
Say. So, do you consider yourself a good communicator?
Everybody always said they are, but that doesn't
say yes.
I mean,
if they're answering all your questions, then you wouldn't you kind of get that if they're answering all your questions? Do you consider yourself a good communicator?
No, people
kind of figure that out, right?
People usually give you a representation of what they want you to see versus what's the real, especially on the first couple of dates or whatever, you're first getting to know each other. So, like, everyone will say, "Yeah, I'm a great communicator, of course," but you ain't gonna really find that out until you start seeing that person later on in the.
Remember, in the beginning, we meet the avatar, right?
Right.
Yep.
Representative.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's the forward.
Absolutely.
We meet the avatar.
So let's see. James Crawford says, "I'm a work in progress when it comes to communication." Well, shoot, you should tell all your dates to meet you at No Panties After Dark because you be communicating like a mug on here. So, exactly.
He's one of our
favorites. So just tell them to meet you at No Panties After Dark on Wednesdays. That's where you have your dates. Hey, you know what? That would be dope. Have a live date.
We should do that.
Yes.
That's what's up. Hey, how'd your last relationship end? Now, this right here is a serious question. Like, how did your last relationship end? That one right there that's a big one, right?
Yeah, but again, false representation. They're gonna tell you one thing, but you're not gonna always find out the truth until you actually are with that person.
Yeah, I mean, you put two and two together,
but you can't put two together.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they tell you that their last lady was murdered or something, and then they just got out of jail for 12 years. But they said it wasn't them. You know, maybe, you know, their last relationship didn't end too well, and you know, you might not want to date them.
You know what I tend to stay away from? Men who are widows. I don't like widows because that always make me think that maybe he killed his wife for some damn insurance money or some shit. And he had a temper. But you know what? I dated a widow a long time ago, and he wasn't over her ass. And he was buying me stuff and paying bills, and then all of a sudden, he would just go get reclusive and just, you know, start tripping out about his dead wife and stuff. And then another lady that I knew, a friend of mine, she had kind of went out with him before, and she said he did the same thing. So I don't have to, I just can't, I feel like I don't want to deal with that. And
You got, I tell you, you got a lot of
I don't want to deal with
stipulations.
nobody dealing
She
with
got stories.
She got a lot of stipulations.
Listen,
You should just come with a Gigi. You should just come with a list. Like, you should just bring a list, have that mug laminated, and just like before you even say anything, just drop it on the table like a menu.
But you know what? I can't remember the name of it, but it was a show back in the day, and they had like a whole list of stipulations. It was a dating show. When I remember it, we're gonna talk about it.
It was Chili. Chili from
That's you.
Chili, girl. Because she was trying to compete. She wanted everybody to be Earthshire. Everybody can't be Earthshire. She like, you got to be vegan. You got to be vegetarian. Can't eat no meat. Can't eat no beef. Can't eat no that.
She wanted everybody to have chlamydia. What are you talking about?
Usher had chlamydia. He had herpes.
Yeah, he had herpes.
She wanted everybody to have an STD. Like, that's terrible.
Look, I'm telling you, her list was crazy. And she's still single. She still like she ain't got over that.
What is this about? Goddess thought the widower was going to lock her in the basement. What the?
Look,
that looked like somebody know too much.
Your wife did? Oh, okay.
Well, she said, "Is your wife in the deep freezer in the basement? Is that where she at?"
I ain't got no insurance money for you. So look, he might got a temper. God. He might just be crazy and shit. Hey, that might be his second dead wife. And then I ain't got no time to be trying to like you and you start crying about your dead wife and shit. I'm sorry. Look, I got enough issues and problems I'm dealing with my own self. I just can't.
His dead wife is in the deep freezer in the basement.
Stipulations.
Period.
Stipulations and tough. Man.
I can't.
Okay, so look, it's we got the last one here. If you could go back in time, what's the one thing you would change about your life? I think that's a good question. And I would say the one thing that I would change is celebrity news that you can't use. It is definitely time for that. So,
all right.
Pretty brown skin, go ahead and take it away, mama. But first, let's pay a couple bills. We'll be right back.
Okay, don't leave. Stay right here. We're just paying bills. Stay right here.
Don't go nowhere, y'all. We'll be right back.
Don't go nowhere.
Bills.
I'm gonna folks, check out healthDaddyWow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great. healthDaddyWow.net. Remember, healthDaddyWow.net. Hey, folks.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap, sticks, and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
我说他是全网最大，你们有没有反对的？哎呦我去，哎呦我去，尴尬尴尬。吓尿了，来上一口，开播了啊！怎么都是水？
You know that dang clip. You play
I love playing. Hey, but you know why I love it? Hey, but look, I'm gonna tell you why I love it. Because for one, what y'all can't see is I can see our guest coming up after celebrity news you can't use. I can see her face backstage. And that's what makes playing that so hilarious. It's not what y'all think. I thought she was eating like a donkey penis or something like that, balls and all. I was like, man.
It's a geoduck clam.
Say it again.
It's a geoduck clam.
Okay.
Whatever it is,
so I watch a lot of different.
It looked like a penis and some balls. What it looks
Yeah,
like.
very stylish clam. It's called a geoduck, and most of the time, it's what they do. They dip it in hot water, basically, and circumcise it just for a few seconds.
Hold on. Circumcised? What you talking about? I thought you said it was a clam.
It is, but you dip it in hot water. They briefly pull it out, spin back, because it's basically still kind of raw. Then they dissect the ball.
Oh Lord, she's gone. Hey, listen, new drinking game. Every time Golden Goddess makes me clutch my pearls, take a drink.
Man, all I know is that's hilarious. So, celebrity news you can't use. And the reason why we say that, folks, celebrity news you can't use is because none of this shit will help you do a damn thing in life. So,
no, not at all.
You know, that's what it's all about. Go ahead, spit it out.
All right, so J-Lo and Ben Affleck got married in Vegas. Shout out to them. Love is patient. 20 years
again. Oh, they just dated back in the day.
Yeah, they called their wedding off like about 3 days before the actual ceremony last time. So, and then she went on. She married who did she marry? Chris Judd, and then she married Mark Anthony, and then she was with A-Rod, and now they're back together. But you know what? I'm happy for her. I'm happy that they found their way back because I'm happy for them. The original Bennifer. Yeah, so I'm happy for them.
The babe.
He is. And then let's see. R. Kelly is denying having homosexual sex with 16-year-old boys.
Nothing that R. Kelly say. We don't believe nothing he say.
No,
at this point.
Rob, you did that shit. I still
stand by
what
Rob
happened?
Did that shit.
What happened? He did
on that interview with Tori said, "Do you date girls?" And he said, "By teenage, what do you describe as teenager? What do you consider teenage?" And Tori was like, "A woman that's teenager, a girl that's a teenager. There's no 19 under
19. So he like them 19 and up. So that way they
19
still teenagers, but
that's
still
not
young.
He usually like them 16 and up."
I'm still gonna stand by what I said the other week. Now that they got Rob did that shit. He's guilty as fuck. As 50 Cent was saying.
Right.
Go get everybody else. Go get everybody else.
Their parents is equally to blame for shit too.
All the enablers. Go get everybody else.
The enablers, the crew, everything.
All of them.
All right, so who's up next?
Okay, and then wait a minute. This one is hilarious. You're gonna laugh. Okay, so Elon Musk, his 76-year-old dad, is considering donating his sperm to high-class women.
I mean, but think about it. You're Elon Musk. Now, hold on.
The New World Order, right?
Elon Musk's dad?
His father, 76 years old. But listen, think about it like this. Have you ever seen, I hope I don't offend nobody, but you ever seen like a baby and like their parents was old and then the baby look old?
That baby look
like,
old. That baby look like it's seen some things already.
Right. Like the baby come out with a 750 credit score, a house payment, and a car note.
Old people jowls, smile lines, and everything. Tell me, receding hairline. Them babies be looking old face as hell. Period.
You remember on The Color Purple? And she said, "I call her old Olivia because only somebody old would have eyes like that." And
if I was
for real, daddy.
For real, if I was Elon Musk's daddy, I would be selling too. I mean, you Elon Musk's daddy. Be like, look, I can help you create a whole line of Elon Muskeses, Elon Musketeers, and everything. You know, I would for real say. But go ahead. What we got next?
What's next?
Let's see who else we got. It was the crazy. Oh yeah, Tristan Thompson. Tristan third trimester Thompson. So he's been spotted out overseas with another woman days before
Again,
him and Chloe's baby is born. Now, let's be clear, like they broke up when he had that baby on her, but he had the baby on her after the baby by the surrogate was conceived, so they're not together. But it's not a good look. But then again, this is what he does during the third trimester.
right.
Jordan Craig was pregnant during the third trimester. He cheated on her with Chloe. Chloe was pregnant with the little baby. And during the third trimester, he cheated on her. She got a surrogate pregnant. And during the third trimester, what's he doing?
Just doing the thing. He's being tricky.
maybe, but see, that's the thing. We just don't know the other side of it. Maybe she's crazy during the third trimester.
Well, wait a minute. This time she got.
Not to say that that's a reason
she
why.
She got a surrogate. So she ain't even dealing with none of that. And then,
She's doing it right. She's not doing that.
He just, he just when the third trimester hit, he
just can't keep his pee and out of the caves. That's all.
That's all.
Y'all see that? Brandon Lowe, he said, "Yep, all y'all going to hell talking about them old babies."
I calls the old Olivia because only somebody old has eyes like that. It takes me out every time.
Right.
That's what's up.
Baby crying because it's raining because his little arthritis is acting up.
That's what's up. So what y'all thinking? Are we? Is that celebrity news?
That's celebrity news.
There
you go, folks. Celebrity news you can't use. Okay.
I got a little bit of social media news too. I don't know. Real quickly, I don't know if y'all follow Nature Boy. Anybody that know Nature Boy? Nature Boy is a cult leader. He's a black guy who has a really huge social media following on Instagram, Bigo, YouTube. His cult's name is Carbon Nation. Now, I don't know if y'all know a lot of black cult leaders, but he is one of the biggest cult leaders there is. And he recently
got pastors everywhere.
There you go. And now he was at Carbon Nation. He has this belief that you should live off the land and just kind of like
I like
that, but where you don't have any riches, but the people that come to his cult have given him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Okay, like you got to the women. He has wives, like he has women and men living with him. Men are the followers, wives, and all of the wives. He has total access to do whatever he wants with those wives, and he like what you go to
have total access to do whatever you want with your wives.
I mean, yeah.
That's
the point of getting married.
Right.
I'm still not finding a problem here.
Give up your cell phones, your everything. You give him all your money, and he has total control over it. Now,
that's the problem.
Issue is there's a problem. The issue has been the abuse in Carbon Nation in the years, and some of the cult members and women who have been lucky to get away have actually gone to the police. The feds have been monitoring him for years. He fled to Puerto Rico, to Hawaii, I think, maybe Hawaii, Costa Rica.
He should become the new R. Kelly.
Exactly. He on back
start writing
to
songs.
Atlanta, and this is what his demise. Started having praying in his started while he said this is what he said.
Chopping up on this.
Oh,
you say, what's his demise?
Is it better?
Yes.
Damn. Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
What would you say his demise is?
Okay. One of the things that he said on YouTube was after after he said have sex with one of his wives, he doesn't mind letting his son play with his penis and touch his little baby, his little child, touch it. Right. Nature Boy is out there, but the feds have been watching him. He let a white guy into his cult in Atlanta, and that was the feds, and they actually busted him.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah,
right.
This took like a whole different turn for celebrity news.
Period. Well, I do social media. I'm gonna start doing social. If anybody that's on here from social media, some of these, you might know some of these people I speak of. But yeah, so they just had a bond hearing, and again tonight, and the judges said you have a cult. Your cult. You would say you're a flight risk because of your cult, the things that you're in prison for, not only revenge porn, but kidnapping, basically holding people hostage and stuff like that. rape, and some other shit. Like, it's out there. What is out there? The charges that they have brought up against him, and they're like, you are again bond hearing denied. I'm not letting him go because
Good.
members will do anything you ask them to do, including getting country. Baby, I'm gonna keep you updated on that. Yes, Carbonation up on YouTube. He's out there. Nature Boy.
Ooh.
Got you. Well, folks, I tell
Very
you what,
interesting.
that is absolutely interesting. And
Right.
I tell you what, we have a great show for you tonight. Last part of our show is always our main topic, and tonight we are talking. Let me see if I can find some music to go along with this.
Be careful with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna find some music to go along with.
We learned last week, but they shut us down.
Oh no!
All right, so who's drunk? How many times has God has made me clutch my pearls tonight? Who's drunk? That's our new drinking game. Every time you make me clutch my pearls, you gotta take a drink.
Okay, so right now we're going to talk about. This sounds a little mystical. We're going to talk about surviving a narcissist. Okay, surviving a narcissist. All right, and for our guest for this evening, all right, we are bringing to the stage an amazing licensed professional. All right, this young lady has been featured on many different podcasts and have given talks all over, and I see her laughing. And with that being said, without further ado, we're going to bring to the stage Miss LaQuisha Moore, M.ed. LPCC, licensed professional clinical counselor and owner of Levitate. That's how I'm gonna say it. You know, I'm gonna let you.
I want to know what's in your drink.
Right.
What is going on?
Hello.
Welcome to No Panties After Dark. How you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all? Can y'all hear me?
Okay.
Yes. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this music off because it's been mystical enough. What's going on, Queen?
Right.
I'm still trying to recover from that ad you had with the TikTok.
He plays it every show.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. It's
right.
hilarious.
It's disgusting. I was like, what is it?
I'm wasting all my drink.
I was like, they are doing too much on No Panties After Dark. No, just playing.
Hey, but you know what? It's because it does look funky, but it makes me think about. It always makes me think about how a female cricket eats a male cricket after mating.
So does a praying mantis.
Just bite the head
and praying
out.
mantis, yeah. All them ugly ass hopping looking things, they do the same thing.
Right.
All of them, even them cricket spider things, they do the same thing. They will
Black widows.
they will eat the head of the male after mating. So I just that's what that thing makes me think of. Even though that's not even a penis, it's a whole clam or something.
It is a clam. It is.
You know, but nonetheless.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say that is like the most viewed TikTok person in history.
Oh,
the
really?
Black guy. Yeah, he's the most popular.
Yeah.
TikTok. He's really popular, that guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has the most followers, more followers than anybody on TikTok.
Wow, that little black guy?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I know he's popular. He's very popular.
Had no clue.
I love watching his TikToks and Instagrams.
So tonight we're talking surviving a narcissist. We wanted to make sure that we brought a professional on, especially when we're speaking on heavy topics like this, simply because, we are not professionals and I'm not afraid to state that. Now, Gigi, she has a behavioral science background. So, with that in mind, she would be our resident specialist. So we wanted to kind of create some conversation here with this whole surviving a narcissist. I want you, Miss LaQuisha Moore, to first, tell us who you are, and this levitate,
Levitate.
levitate. Okay, so it's really just
Levitate.
like it looks. Okay.
Or to cause
Okay,
other
see,
people to
I
rise
thought
out
it was like supposed to be
natural
some old, like, just amazing thing. Levitate, but levitate. Okay, all right, I got you.
Thank
It does look like that. So I don't know, but either way, I want you to tell about yourself. Tell us what you do real quick, and then we'll get into this conversation of surviving narcissists, because my viewpoint, I think I'm playing more devil's advocate. Just because I believe that the term gets used too much, and that most people that use it don't really know that they're using it, wrong anyway. But
Right.
go ahead, Miss Moore.
Well, like I said, my name is LaQuisha Moore. I am a licensed professional clinical counselor. I currently am the treatment director at Option to Success, which is a group home for teenage girls, and I also am the sexual assault therapist at the Center for Women and Families in Indiana. And I also have Levitate that I'm building now, and that is my own. So, yeah.
Is that your own, like, counseling?
Yes, that's my own counseling agency. Okay. Yeah. So I really started off with that, just doing I was doing an EAP program for Metro United Way, seeing their blocks, like the people who were part of blocks, the employees. So
when you say the EAP program, does that mean that you would be on the other end if I called that number?
It would be the employee assistant. So people who work for the program, like I was seeing them, and then but I am strictly trying to cater to sexual trauma. So that's my main specialty area, and addiction. Those are the two things.
Very nice.
That's heavy though. That's heavy because I could probably I can maybe say there's 2 women that I know of that I've dated that did not, that I know of, had any sexual trauma. All the rest pretty much have. So that's interesting. That's a heavy topic there. How do you deal when it comes to bearing the weight of all of that all the time?
I sometimes just jump in the shower and take baths. Like I just have to distance myself from my kids.
You don't do it while the patient is talking, are you?
No, but really, I have a stomach for it. I've been through it. I was a victim in a big case when I was in my early 20s, and so I have been through the whole thing. Being molested and raped, and then going to trial. And so I really am, like, when I'm with them, I know the process that they have to go through. And I understand the issues, the complex issues that are specific to that trauma. So I'm building, I have started to build a 6-month program. I'm piloting with the Center for Women and Families. That is a 6-month intensive, trauma therapy for a sexual trauma program. So it's called Levitate for Life. And so very nice. We about halfway through. We just had our 12th class last week, and I was happy about that. We have 24 sessions, so we'll be done in the early part of November, and they'll graduate for the women that have started. So I was only supposed to be contracted over there for a few hours a week, but it just turned into a lot more. So I'm loving it. Actually, I know what I'm meant to do because it's not too heavy for me.
Good.
Now, with what you've been through, were you literally originally looking for answers for yourself when you first got into therapy?
No, I think that when I got into therapy, I just started to see that most of my clients had sexual trauma. And I think that a lot of times it's kind of glazed over. Like, people are like, oh, this happened in your history, but it's kind of like a historical thing. And people don't consider the way that it continues to affect you long term, especially if it goes untreated, like the issues that come with it. I think a lot of things that go on, even with women, have been due to those abuses, the attitudes and beliefs that we hold now towards men, and all of that stuff. We haven't really, that's a deeper conversation about that. But yeah, there's a lot of issues that people don't consider that are related directly to sexual trauma.
I can almost point it out myself. I can almost sit there and just listen to a person for a little bit and be like, "Yep, somebody dealt with her wrong when she was younger, or at some point before me, somebody's dealt with her wrong." Because you can hear it.
Yeah.
A lot of time, if you've dealt with enough, then you can literally hear the trauma, and you can almost pinpoint that it was sexual trauma. Just the same. So, do people ever get out of that?
What do you mean, like heal from it?
Yeah, do they ever heal from it, or is it
Well,
last forever?
I would say yes. As a person who, I mean, I still definitely am. I get triggered, especially in my work, you know. But it is, they don't affect me, you know, the way that it used to, you know. So I know that I've healed a lot, because I used to tell people, like, I used to hate the smell of incense. It was certain things that brought back memories for me. I hated African stuff. I hated cowrie shells. Anything to do with like kente cloth, anything like that was a trigger for me.
You over here creating a list of a description of somebody we need to go look for. Where they at?
In prison for 40 years. Wipe me down. No, I'm just playing.
Man.
No, they really are.
Amen to that. Amen to that.
It was two of them. It was a woman and a man, and it was a big case. It was my karate teachers when I was younger, so they ended up in prison. So she's out now, I think, but I've not seen her since she's been out. And he I don't think he'll ever get out, because I think he might have tried to escape or something when he first went. So he had 40 years. Man. So yes, I think that gave me a stomach to work with, you know.
Right.
So as you're working with people, how much of this lands you into the area of narcissism?
I would say I see narcissism, especially traits of it anyway, but definitely I've seen the disorder, because I mean, you got to think that at the root of narcissism is a lot of times abuse, abandonment, neglect, like some type of traumas that they've endured, you know, and they've created this persona about themselves that makes them feel important.
I do want to give you a big shout out, because what Joan Lancaster just said, so powerful, Quisha. You know, there's so much when it comes to sexual trauma that people like to take trauma and sweep it under the rug.
Right. And you don't want to deal with it, especially in our community.
Especially in the Black community and the brown.
In our community. And the problem with that is that, you know, and it's the same thing where if your job screwed you over and you don't speak up about it, right? Because all you're doing is you're allowing the next person to come behind you to potentially have to deal with the same exact thing. But when you are bold enough, when you're strong enough to just go ahead and share your story and to speak up, to speak out, to say something, then that's when you help protect people that you don't even know that you're helping to protect, because it may not just be you, even at that moment in time, that's dealing with whatever the case may be. But you're helping people that at that moment, and you could be helping people that would come behind you if in fact you didn't say anything. So shout out to you for even being bold enough to come on and have a bunch of people sitting here that you don't know that are watching to actually speak up about that, sis.
Well, I appreciate that. One of the things that I do want to do is tell my story more anyway. I think that I'm going to have to do that. Like, I'm going to have to be the face of my brand, because I know that it's hard for people to come forward. And so, I mean, I'm dealing with people in therapy that got raped 30 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, there's, you know, people holding in for a long time, and I didn't, you know, tell nobody for 2 years, even after it happened. And then nothing happened about it when I told for 4 years, because they kept reoffending. So in my case, there was 4 victims, which is why we got the type of justice that we did. But most of the time, you don't see that level of justice in these cases. You know, I think they definitely made an example out of them, which I can appreciate. but only about 15 out of 16 or 1 out of 16 rapists even go to jail. So you have 15 out of 16 that don't even get, no, nothing happens. So
it's tough, man, because I sit back and I think, I mean, something like your karate teacher. I grew up, doing kung fu, and I think about, I can't imagine, because these were people that we called family. These were like friends, and so just the same, I couldn't imagine that happening to people that you're supposed to be able to trust. So when we look into narcissism, Gigi, this is something that we've talked about and we spoke about. Either one of you want to share a story?
T, you want to go first, and then I'll go after you.
Okay, so I was married to my narcissist, and I don't really talk about this that often. So I was married to mine, but and we divorced in 2008, and we shared 2 children together. And I didn't realize that I had been a victim of narcissistic abuse until like years down the line. So can you imagine like healing from something and then like seeing some things and it triggered, and like now I'm learning about gaslighting and I'm learning about love bombing, and then I'm starting to realize like these are things that have been done to me, and now I'm having to
gaslighting and love bombing.
Love bombing. So love bombing. Yeah. Love bombing is where somebody like showers you with like all the love, like they just all the love and adoration and all the attention, and then like you just feel like you feel super loved, and then like they groom like with all that love, they're grooming you for the abuse. So I think the term for it is called for abuse. I think the term is called breadcrumbing. So they are showering you with a lot of love and attention. You feel super loved and super secure, and then they take it away, then you start getting the abuse. But that love was so great that you're gonna stick around for more and more of that love. And so you deal with the abuse just to get that love. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The love bombing. So what he would do is like, let's say like we were out somewhere and we see a homeless guy sitting on the side of the road panhandling. If I come back and I tell the story to somebody, he would say, no, we didn't see that. T, she just always exaggerates things. So after a while of having that done to me, I would start to doubt things that I saw really happened. And he isolated me from my friends. Like he would tell me like, this person is not your friend. You're such a loving person. You're so sweet, and people take advantage of you. They don't really like you. To like make me cut my friends off. So I was isolated. I was gaslit, and then that's when the physical abuse began. And right now I'm dealing with, I just found out 2 weeks ago, I have stage 2 degenerative disc disease. And when they took my x-ray, they found out that a piece of my spine and my back is touching my brainstem. And my doctor was saying that is looking like a result. Like, did you dive off of a diving board and go swimming? Did you have a head injury? I don't know how to swim. This comes from an incident when my head was shoved into a wall. I remember that like 16 years ago. So now I have pain through my right arm from being physically abused 16 years ago.
Wow. Well, I thank you for sharing that. That's love bombing. I think the thing about love bombing is it's so confusing because people once a person turns on you, you don't realize what you've done to cause the change, and so you start to blame yourself for the way that they're changing, and so you try to do whatever you have to do to try to get back the relationship to where it's at, but you can never be good enough, in that situation. And then the gaslighting is just basically, when you're making somebody, when you're telling somebody something, they just making you question your own sanity. Like you question, you got a problem with them, and then they turn it around to where you start feeling bad for having a problem with them. Like just having guilt and just confusion. But narcissistic abuse is real. I do believe that, like you said, Joseph, that the term is overused as far as, because some people, as soon as somebody says something, some people can't accept criticism, which can be a part of narcissism too. And I think even I had that trait. Like I used to couldn't, you was an enemy of the state when you criticize me. Like who are you? But that too, it can be narcissism in responding like that to somebody just telling you something about yourself.
I feel like we should set James Crawford up on a date.
Craycroft.
Yeah,
we should.
We need
right.
Craycroft. Yeah, my bad. We need to. Let's get with him, and we're gonna say. I mean, I don't know. I just know him through social media. He seems like a great guy, but when he comes on here, his past, I think it's the same relationship. The past relationship, it was a tough one. It was a tough one, and I just feel like, you know what, he deserves.
He does.
He deserves a good one, and so I feel like we should interview him and then do a dating thing. Just
for the love of James.
There we go. We're gonna do it for the love of James.
Let's get with him and do that.
Absolutely. But you hear what he said? He says, I was basically love bombed when I was dating, but when I got married, it all changed. 1 minute I was thoughtful, compassionate, and caring. Then I was labeled stupid, simple, and slow because my narcissist ex didn't always get things her way. Man. Woo, make them not think about some woo, man. That's yeah. So look, I was
go through it too.
Yeah,
they do.
And you don't think about that. You don't think about the fact that
we don't never talk about that.
We don't talk about men in period. They feelings don't get considered. Like
no, we don't. Well, men, we don't have feelings because we're just bricks. That's all we are. We're just bricks.
No, I don't feel that way. I know there's women narcissists.
We're used to put all the weight on, and we're used to hold things down and hold things together. And we don't have feelings. We don't have emotions. Of course, we're not supposed to be emotional. Because if we are, then that means that we're soft, punkish, and whatever. You know what I mean? That's the description of men in some people's eyes, when the reality is just the opposite. A real man is emotional and has the ability to be in touch with his emotions and still be that dude that can, if something's about to happen in the streets, we're gonna slap you down. Like who's that? Steve Harvey just said, "I will kill all y'all about mine." Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now I pulled this up. It's a 3-minute narcissistic personality disorder test. Now this is for the person who is, which is kind of stupid to me because I don't know any narcissists that would go and look at this test and be like, man, I think I'm a narcissist. I should go check and make sure. Let me see. But this, ladies, fellas, this is something that you can this is another checklist. So y'all tell me, LaQuisha, you can kind of chime in on this and tell me whether or not this looks like something that makes sense or what have you. Let's see here. Bada bing, bada boom. Right. And there we go. So, do you experience an exaggerated sense of self-importance that frequently involves the need to exaggerate your talents or accomplishments? Now I feel like with some of this, look, Quisha, we was talking about this before. There's a difference between actually having a narcissistic personality disorder versus having narcissistic traits. Because I think, in a sense, everyone, and Kim Nardi is literally posting it as I'm saying it out my mouth, everyone poses some kind of narcissistic behavior at times. Would that be a correct statement?
True. That's very true.
There is adaptive narcissism that is like, having high self-confidence, high self-reliance, the ability like to celebrate yourself and things like that. I think that even when you asked that question, it was like when people exaggerate. The key word in there is they exaggerate their accomplishments, right?
Yeah.
If a person is really accomplished and they really bragging about what they really do and what they really are, then that's not really them exaggerating. But narcissistic people exaggerate what they do, period, to look a certain way in front of others because they need admiration.
Like I see people that run around and they'll be like, yo, I'm the shit. And I'm looking, I'm like, you don't look like a pile of doo-doo. What are you talking about? You don't look like a pile of doo-doo, so you can't be the shit.
Yeah.
I'm done. You are just never gonna act
right. Take it somewhere else. I'm thinking somebody really thinking they all you talking about.
He's never gonna act
right. My gosh.
I thought we were gonna be on good behavior tonight. He's never gonna act right. But this is why we love him.
What y'all drinking?
Look,
this is why we love him.
This is not even what I wanted to drink, but it's
what
sweet
is
Marcella. Sweet Marcella.
Oh yeah, you feeling good. Sweet Marcella take you there. You feeling good right now.
Yeah, but that's just half the bottle. Do you believe you are special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions? Do you believe you're special? I mean, people be walking around, I'm a child of God, therefore I can't, I mean, is that the same?
Well, I think we've been taught to believe some narcissistic things anyway, just about because what that is it's not that you special or unique, but it's that you consider yourself elite, that other people aren't as important as you are, that you are uniquely different from them in a way that makes you like above them.
I think you're right, and I think this should be added on to that. Or high status people or institutions, and think that other people aren't as important. Like that should be the tagline.
Elbows with other people that they feel are distinguished. You can't sit at this table, people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the in crowd. You ain't it. No. Let's see. Do you find that you constantly have a willingness to take advantage of others to achieve your own goals? Mm-hmm. So that's another one there. So constantly have a willingness to take advantage of others to achieve your own goals. Okay. Do you require excessive
other people to get to the top?
Okay.
They lack empathy, and that's the main thing with narcissists is they lack empathy for others.
Absolutely. And so again, understanding the difference between empathy versus sympathy. A person of Caucasoid persuasion could have sympathy for slavery. They really could never have empathy for it, right? Mm-hmm. So that being kind of the defining difference between empathy versus sympathy. Do you require excessive admiration from others? And I guess the key word there would be what? Excessive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is excessive admiration from others? What would a narcissist example of excessive admiration be?
Well, they just, they just a bottomless pit of need and praise, that when they're not getting it, it's not filling them up. So that they need that to feel important. They need people to look up to them, admire them, that they don't on their own don't feel that, because usually narcissistic people are deeply insecure. So that's the energy. The energy
supply.
Yes.
That's the supply.
Narcissistic supply.
Oh, I like what Joan said. She said emotional vampires. Absolutely.
Yep. Suck you dry.
So that's the person that sits there and is like, they there with their significant other or whatever, and like, hey, you don't think I'm the shit? You don't think I'm the shit? You know what I mean?
And you feel drained.
And that's the part when I was talking about criticism. Like sometimes when people think they want people to think highly of them, when they get criticized, they perceive that as like a threat or somebody, like they internalize that.
So they couldn't even handle constructive criticism at all.
Not really.
Not at all.
No.
Let's see. James Craycroft Sr. says a narcissist will need and crave admiration to feel good about themselves.
That's right.
Absolutely. So Are you preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love?
I think that we all can be at times,
Yeah.
you know, preoccupied with those things, but with them, it's more of a driving need for power, for control. Like, and it's the lengths that they'll go to feel that power and control, or to reach those heights, and the perfectionism and stuff that comes with it.
Okay. So let's see. Do you have a sense of entitlement from others that involve unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment? Getting up at 3 a.m. to make that damn sandwich.
Well, Golden Goddess says she ain't doing it. She ain't doing it.
Automatic compliance with their expectations, which I think.
Right. So it's just that unrealistic, you know? Like the expectations are over the top.
Eat the cake, anime.
That's right.
And anime.
It's to please them. It's about them. It's not about you. That's the thing with narcissism.
Man, y'all think narcissists get to go to heaven?
That's between them and God.
I mean, I'm just saying, you know.
Right.
I mean, you start telling motherfuckers what to do up there, you might have a problem. Do you find you are?
The hell is wrong with you?
The hell is right. Do you find you are unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others? So that's that lack of empathy.
Yes.
Once again, right?
That's the main thing, because a lot of things are centered around it.
Listen, you know, we're gonna help the world, and we're gonna create a narcissist, a card like this big. You put in your wallet, and you know, with all these questions on it, and that like Miranda rights and all that stuff. You know,
these
it's on
are
the
good
card,
first
all these
day questions.
Exactly.
Questions.
I wish we could have had John Lancaster on her, because she labels us, she's the narcissist slayer. Definitely.
Is she a professional counselor as well?
Oh no. She's
just a narcissist slayer.
She's my podcast mate.
Got you.
We've talked a lot about narcissism.
Tell us about your podcast. You have a podcast?
We'll have to tune in for that.
Yeah. Well, we've been hitting and missing. We'll get going, and then life will happen, and then we'll record again. And so, getting consistent is one of the things that we plan to do here in the near future. But it's called the Titty Powwow. It's a podcast for women and the men who love them. So we like
to be sister brother stations.
That's right.
Let us know how we can support.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I mean, we just really are working on like the technology piece and stuff, because me and her, we'll be sitting up phones and cameras and computers, and so we've been trying to figure that piece out. Before, our podcast used to be like recorded on YouTube and go straight to iTunes, and then it stopped, and we don't know how to get that back going. So, but that's the piece. So we usually do it on Facebook Live or Instagram Live. So, yep.
Absolutely.
Well, we came up with the name because we were breastfeed. Like I was pregnant when we became friends, and she just had a baby and she was breastfeeding. So we used to like have these candid conversations while we breastfeed and stuff. And so we just called it the Titty Powwow.
That's what's up. How long y'all been doing it?
We have been doing it off and on for about 2 or 3 years now, but we don't. We just don't stay consistent. We have such good chemistry and such good topics.
Okay. I thought you was gonna say like you've been doing it consistent for like, or doing it for the last 2 or 3 months.
Oh,
and then I was gonna be like, so we didn't inspire you, and then you know.
No, we'll be back on probably next Tuesday. We were supposed to record this Tuesday, but my son's going to college this weekend. I was a little overwhelmed. So
got you.
Yeah.
So Gigi.
Yeah.
Would you like to share your story?
Well, I just got out of.
We'll get back to these questions here in a minute. There's just a few of them left, but go ahead, share your story, Gigi, if you would like to.
Well, that's what I had. I had the same kind of similar things pulled up with the narcissism. I was in a relationship with a narcissist for like about 5 years or so, and I think he damn near got all of these traits. Not traits, but he definitely has NPD, narcissist personality disorder. And I mean, he falls under every last one of these. The grandiose, having a exaggerated sense of self-importance, being that he trained my sons, in which he volunteered to train my sons how to play basketball and train them. And he now, mind you, he did help them lose a lot of weight, and he got them really far at basketball. But because they did not, he always felt the need to rush everything, had to be hurried up, everything had to be everything had to go really, really fast. So once they got to a certain point and he felt like they should have been further, he just quit. He just gave it up. That was one thing he does, is he kind of just bails out quickly. If it gets a little bit too hard, he bails out. But he always wanted everybody to know that he was the one to train them. He did this. Oh, I got you guys together. I got the boys where they need to be. I got this, and I got. Of course, he taught himself how to play the guitar.
Oh man, that was
the whole
hilarious.
conversation. The conversations are always about him, and he's never about me. Nothing was about me. In the beginning, like T said, the love bombing. Oh man, he was just Mr. Prince Charming, at first. I mean, we were getting married and everything, and he loved me, loved my boys, and spent time with the boys, and we always went out, and he just showed everybody how much, you're pretty, but not as pretty as my woman, and just made me feel like I was Cinderella. But then the personality, the NPD kicked in. You know what I'm saying? So then it got, first it was he wanted to be a family man, and then all of a sudden he got this urge where he wanted to be some rapper, guitar playing singer or something like that. So I even bought him an electric guitar to help with his.
Was he gonna call himself John Legend?
I don't know, but
you would have had to heard these songs. It was terrible.
I tried to help even with his dreams and support, and I got him an electric guitar for Christmas. And like then he became obsessed. That's one thing they do. They become obsessive with their ideas and with their thoughts, and everything has to be done in a certain time frame. Like 3 years ago, he said he was going to be at the Grammy 3 years from now. Anyway, so
I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a dream. I mean, and the Grammys is not even hard to get in. They be looking for people to fill.
I think it's the unrealistic expectation piece is probably.
It's the expectation.
She sent me these songs. She sent me these songs. I've heard them.
I heard
he knows two chords.
And and I constantly it was the self-admiration. I had to constantly admire him. I had to constantly let him know how great he was all the time. None of the conversations, I'm a Zumba instructor. I haven't taught in a couple years. I have an injury, but nothing was never about me or my classes or anything that I love to do. The conversations were constantly 100% of the time always about him. I'm a pretty nigga. I'm a pretty this. I'm so pretty. Oh, baby, look how they be looking at us in the club when they be like, who that pretty nigga? Who's that? Ooh, blah, blah, my hair. It was just like,
I'm a pretty nigga.
Right.
I'm a pretty nigga.
Right.
Look at me. I'm a pretty nigga.
And it's like, oh my.
that sound like part of his song or whatever.
I be playing the guitars. Like I be doing this. Did you hear my song, babe? Yeah, my song. Me. It was always him. And if I even veered away from that at all, we would get into argument. If we went out to see a live band, it was always, I'm better than him. I should be getting paid. I should be getting paid. I'm way better. And if I even acted like I liked that band or that group, we got into an argument because I liked them. It was, it was the gaslight. It was always the gas. Everything most of the arguments were arguments that he started. But at the end of the day, he gaslighted me to the point where I felt like it was my fault all the time. He made it. We fucking argued over ponytail holders. Like it was just stupid shit. I feel like it was almost self-sabotage. You know, yeah, it was lack of empathy. When he would hurt me, he felt like he had to bring up my past that he wanted to know about because he was my man and he could just bring it up anytime, no matter how hurtful it was. You know, there was a lack of empathy for me and my sons when he would hurt us. Um, I didn't realize that he had been in 14 different residences in the last 7 years, and some of those were in and out of different girlfriends' houses. So um, he would, yeah, it was always emptiness of feelings of emptiness and boredom. Like it was always, I'm empty, I need to be around people who are like-minded. I need to be around other musicians. I need to be around people who, you know, when you're an elite person, you're an elite, I'm elite, and I need to be around people who are elite. Like, so we were always beneath him. We were not elite. He needed to be around people who were like-minded, who thought the same, who had the same ideology,
How tall
did
was
the
he?
same things.
How tall was he?
Hold on. It doesn't matter. He was 6'5", but it was always that, you know,
Beneath
it was
him.
always that type of thing, and it always made me and my sons feel like we were beneath him. And I'm like, you know, I'm a musician too. I played flute, piccolo, tenor sax, and alto sax. You know what I'm saying? So like, I read music. You know, everything I'm teaching myself how to do this. I'm teaching. You know, it was just so abusive. The way he made me feel like you're just stagnant. I'm doing all these wonderful things and you're not doing shit. That's because I had to focus on, somebody had to make sure the fucking bills were all getting paid, because he wanted to go fucking party all the time. So if he didn't always have the money to help with things, I had to make sure things were covered. You know what I'm saying? And I used to tell him, like, someone has to be the adult. You know, someone has to be the adult. I got to make sure these bills are covered. You feel like you don't want to pay all your money for bills, but when you're come up short, who the hell I have to have my part, because I can't have me and the boys homeless. You know what I'm saying? So it was just everything was always about him, and every argument mostly was always made to sound like it was my fault. I was afraid to like another group. I was afraid to like an artist. I was afraid to like anything else besides anything that he did. I couldn't. I felt so empty because I was not allowed to talk about any. If I talked about anything or tried to maybe make myself feel better about something, then he just shot it right down. I was never allowed to have self-admiration, only him, all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one that was allowed to admire himself.
And what's crazy is there's so many women that are chiming in. Is, you know, Quisha, do you see more men versus women that are labeled narcissists?
I would say that more men are labeled probably narcissists, but I think women definitely, there's a lot of narcissistic women too.
Right.
I mean, because I think that a lot of the stuff
narcissists as a result of dealing with a narcissist. You know?
And I think that a lot of this stuff to me seems like female traits, things that kind of, in a sense, are not, you know, the adoration part. Well, you know, we give adoration to our queens, and that's kind of normalcy, right? Mm-hmm. But you know, and then you grow up, I guess, expecting that adoration, right? So that's kind of normal. And so when I think about a man doing that, then it's like, you know, that's a female trait.
It's self-admiration, though. We're talking about self-admiration.
There's nothing wrong with a man wanting to be admired.
Right.
Narcissist is the excessiveness of it.
Excessive and obsessive. They mirror your thoughts. They mirror compliments. They take your thoughts or anything that you tell them, and they mirror it and make it seem like it's their own ideas. If I would give him an idea, he would and just repeat it over and over, like every something he came up with. If I gave him an idea or a thought or anything that I was saying that has something to do with him, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yep. Or I'm going to what is one thing I said? I forgot, but it was something that I said to him quite a few times, different things, and I noticed that he would take it and just go ahead and mirror it like it was his own thoughts. And I mean,
their idea, they don't give you no credit.
Their idea, not yours, but their own idea. I mean, you know, and it's self-admiration, to admire yourself. obsessively. When you talk about yourself, the whole entire conversation that you're with someone, the whole entire time, every single day, that's more than a female tendency. That is obsessive behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get into the
and
obsessiveness.
also I think you have to consider this. There are different types of disorders, right? A lot of times, some people with narcissism or people who have narcissistic personality disorder, they may be comorbid, which means they may have another disorder with that disorder. So like that's narcissistic and bipolar. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly.
So the argument, the what somebody would yell out, "Damn, you crazy and you crazy." It's like two disorders in one.
Yeah, but you can't really say that to someone who has NPD, because I even told him, and I was like, dude, you know you have narcissistic personality disorder. And like he fucking lost his shit. And that was in the first year. No, he knows what it is. He knows exactly. And I was like arguing and telling him all the traits and shit. And he well, you can't tell a narcissist that they have narcissism. But there are some narcissists. I'm subscribed to a narcissist feed on Reddit. Some of them do say, I realized that I'm a narcissist, and I lost my woman or I lost my man. And the worst thing, when I realized who I was, it was the hardest thing that I have ever had to deal with. Very seldom they do realize that they are narcissists, but it's usually they have to hit rock bottom. They have to ground zero it. You know what I'm saying? Before they can come to realize who they are, if it even happens. But a lot of times they do have to hit rock bottom in order for them to realize.
It is something that, yes, there's something that brings them to counseling that's out of their control. Maybe they done got into some trouble, or maybe in recovery or something. But a lot of times the reason why they don't see it is because it is part of their personality.
Right.
So something part of like your personality, you don't feel like you're doing anything wrong because it's just natural to be that way.
Right.
And also they blame and attack others for the things that they do. So everything they do, they could do you wrong, but then they will try to manipulate you into believing that the reason they did you wrong was because of something that you done.
Deserve it.
Right.
You deserve it. That's what happened. Yeah, with me.
Even if there is any accountability at all, if there is, it's shared. It's your fault and mine at the same time. They never fully say like it was me. I'm sorry. I did this to you. They will say things. Well, I'm sorry. That's the way you feel. Or
exactly.
Right.
So
I have a question.
You
Are there any
feel that way? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
exactly.
Act on you. And so that's the thing is there is a lot of manipulation involved in narcissism.
Very much. Right. Right.
And you know, T, before you ask that question, look at what Jones said, because again, you call it a narcissist slayer, killer. This is interesting. A lot of the time, these men are jealous of the women they are with.
They're jealous of
I would agree with that.
Kim, I did
They have a low,
I did.
They have a low sense of self, so they need to feed on you. That's why they call it supply. They need to feed off of you to build themselves
a new supply.
So
this is the man. This is the man that really, as his woman focuses on achieving more in life, he's there to pull her down.
Absolutely.
Well, mine felt like I wasn't achieving, and he felt like he was the only one that wanted to achieve. But I was so stressed on trying to make sure I was meeting ends that I really didn't have the time to focus on anything besides being an adult while he wanted to be a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? And live out this rock star dream of his or whatever, and wanted to go out all the time.
That's shame.
So, yeah. And he, we were saying something about, go ahead, T, you asked your question, then I'll remember it. I forgot where we were going.
So are there any like signs or things that we can look for, like as you're beginning a relationship, like what are some clues that you may be dealing with someone with narcissistic personality disorder?
Big giant cleavages.
Well, I think it shows up in like put downs, you know, like there's a difference between somebody, you know, telling you something to help you grow and somebody telling you something that they are taking shots. Like, so usually they take shots at you because that's where they start chipping away at your self-worth and self-esteem, sense of self-worth and your self-esteem. So I think with the shots, like I definitely pay attention to what men say to me, like their boundaries in conversations, how I feel like I'm being treated, you know, like treatment really is a big thing. I would say even, you know, the respect factor, you know, because sometimes they don't see you as worthy of their respect, and they make you feel like you've done something to earn the disrespect.
Yeah, right.
I'll be honest, this is scary.
It is scary.
It's scary for me, you know, because now I'm just like, damn. I mean, I don't know. I mean, now I'm sitting here wondering what my lady thinks. You know what I mean? I left the TV on YouTube before I walked into my office, and I'm like, damn, I picked the wrong day to have her watch. But I mean, with that in mind, it's scary because it's like, you know, I believe I'm somewhat old school, so I believe in men being men. I believe in, you know, taking care of the household. It's a new day, so women want to work. I know my lady, she likes to work. She likes to have her own money. She likes to pay for things. You know, so a lot of time I had to learn to back off and allow her when we would go out because sometimes she would say, let me get it. You know, I want to get lunch. I want to get dinner. And I had to learn to back off and let her do that because in my mind, you know, in my old fashioned mind, that's my job. You know, I take care of this. I take care of the bills, this, that, and the other. But I had to back off and learn to say, okay, all right, so here's what because she wants that to feel that part, to be a part of this in different ways. So, you know, it's scary for me because it's like, you know, you talking about nice guys that want to shower their women with love, you know, and we don't quit. We don't stop. We don't drop the ball, you know, argument or what have you. We don't stop with our love. We don't dangle it as a carrot and such like that. And so it's like one bad apple spoils a bunch, and it makes it hard for the rest of us guys who just want to genuinely be a great guy. And now everybody's looking side eye like, hold on, these two.
No, there's a difference between.
There's a difference.
You know, you're talking about something totally different. It's an act. It's love bombing. And it only usually happens in the beginning of the relationship. And by the time you realize what's going on, that when they start changing, you're already in love with this person, and it's almost like they suck you in. And by the time the emotional abuse starts, you want to hold on to that person and that relationship so bad because you want to make it last. No matter what.
You're gonna do anything to get back that initial feeling.
It's almost too late. That's what they do. They reel you in.
It's like a high. Like you got high off of that love.
And you're constantly looking for that high.
Cycles. I think it's a cycle. So you go through like the love bombing, the gaslighting, and then the breadcrumbing. And then you got the cycles back around, and then there's more love bombing, and then there's more it's a cycle.
Exactly.
And at the end, you're so broke down, you can't get out of it.
Let me say this. I think that little card that we was talking about creating, it needs to be like an accordion card, you know, that you go, because we're going to need to put some more stuff on that. You know, apparently, you know, these narcissists are so narcissistic, you know, that they'll be sitting there, baby. Look at my shit. Don't I got some good looking shit? I got some, baby, go look in the toilet. Look at my shit. My shit is perfect. I got perfect ass shit.
I just wish that we had the foresight to have Golden Goddess upload this song. See, because she shared it with me about a year and a half ago.
Talking about dude song? Is it on YouTube?
No, she shared these videos with me, and when I tell you,
he didn't make it to YouTube. He
Girl,
went
did you
wood.
hear? He's on.
He went
Did
plastic.
you hear wait, I just uploaded another one. I shared another one.
They send me the song so I can hear it.
Where's it at? Is it somewhere that I can pull it up? Can I find it?
No, we're not pulling that shit up on here.
Runaway was my favorite. You got to upload Runaway.
Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at?
I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. Not on here.
He raps. And
I'll share it in the group chat.
One of them
I do like.
No, listen, I want to play it right now. I want to play the song.
No, one of them I do like. I'm not gonna lie. One of them I do like.
Runaway song.
I mean, you went out and bought this man an electric guitar. We want to hear this song.
The Two-Step is a great song. I'm not gonna lie. That was a great song.
I didn't hear that one. I just remember the Runaway
song.
I'll
share it in the group chat, and then maybe next week we'll do a part 2.
Hey, look, let's go through some of these. Let's go through some of these comments real quick. Brother Joseph Reeves says, "Are boundaries established often enough in the beginning of relationships? How does the warming up period actually last anymore?" You know what? This day and age, that's all I'm gonna say. This day and age is some bullshit. But the warming up period, you know, that's something you don't hear. The warming up period,
right.
the dating period, the courting period, right?
The friendship part, you know, don't always.
Yeah.
Like people,
well, they make you feel like you're best friends with them.
They do.
They make you feel like, oh, we're best friends. I mean, he wrote a song, Gigi, well, my government name. You're my best friend. God introduced me to my best friend. You're my very best. I'm like, oh my God, he wrote a song about. You know, they make you feel like you're
so talented. So talented.
Hey, Gigi, Gigi. You have a question. Did you love him? Is the question.
I did. And I really did. I loved him because I thought, you know, because I
He did. Oh crap. I hope he didn't get to her house and get to her.
They was talking too bad.
He done cut off her Wi-Fi. Throws hands in the air. I'm half narcissist and half not. I'm so confused, Team Gemini. Sounds like he has daddy issues and the need for validation. Kim Nardi's
funny. But the thing about narcissist, a narcissist person
does have daddy issues.
That it doesn't.
I'm back.
It's not just in romantic relationships. These people
no, it's not. It's my mother
of having issues, and that is probably why it was easy for you to fall for somebody who was like that and to stay in that relationship that long because you had a narcissistic mother. So you were used to certain things or certain treatment. And a lot of times when we don't, you know, heal from the things that hurt us in the past, we end up mimicking those experiences through other relationships.
Right. Yeah, my mother is a narcissist. My mother is very much a narcissist as well. And she was very abusive, emotionally, physically, and verbally abusive. But what I was going to say was I wanted the relationship so bad as well because when I left my ex-husband, I never brought a man around my sons. I said the only man that I would bring around my children would be the man I plan on marrying because I was married to their father. And I had more respect for my sons to be bringing different guys around them. So when I brought this guy around, they were like, Mom, this is so weird. I've never seen you with a man before. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I've never, and he was all hugging me and he was like, this is how you treat a woman, like teaching my boys how to be loving to women and everything like that. But I'm still dealing with the effects of that narcissistic relationship with my sons. He, just like he gaslighted me and love bombed me, he love bombed my sons and then took the shit away. And my youngest son now, I'm still dealing with so much from him because he said, Mom, he didn't even say goodbye to us. He didn't even tell us when he was moving. He was just gone. And he is hurting so bad. He's been acting out. And I've been dealing with a lot of shit from him because it's almost like he's looking for love too. And my ex, his father was an alcoholic, so he never got that love from his father. So I just feel like maybe he doesn't even know what love is himself because besides his mother and maybe his grandmother who showed him shit. You know what I'm saying? So people, men and women, when you guys get into relationships and there's children involved, you can't just keep hopping in and out of relationships with women or men with children. You can't get these children attached to you. And especially when it comes to you, if you know you're a fucked up ass person, because he's even said, I know I'm a fucked up ass person. He's even said this shit. So if you know you're a fucked up ass person, stay the fuck away from people and their kids, because you guys have no idea the effects that you have on the children after you leave that woman or that man. It has really, really affected my children, that this man has not even kept in touch with them, didn't even say, okay, yeah, you guys knew I was moving, but today would be my last day here. Goodbye. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to keep in touch. None of that fucking shit. He just moved out. You know, we knew it was coming, but they just didn't know when. And then they look up and his shit he's out. It's gone.
So he was a magician as well. So think about this. Going back to this comment here, our boundaries established. I think that's important right there. People don't establish boundaries anymore. There's no more rules to dating or relationships anymore. People get together, and I mean, I think we are a overly hyper sexualized society. So, you know, fellas, they don't even care what anything look at. They just look at booty. I done had guys point stuff out. I'm like, bro, for real? That's disgusting looking. Stop. You know, but it moves. If it jiggles, then it means I need to get at it. You know, it's like, stop. But I know personally, I gotta have some connection here. I mean, right. I'm past that. I can remember being able to just jump on anything to move, but at this
we're
point,
grown now. We're grown,
and so now it's a situation where I done seen enough naked bodies to where it doesn't do anything for me to just see a naked woman anymore. So, skin tight clothes, this, that, and the other. It's no big deal. I need some, I would be more. I need some sapiosexual, attraction going on.
Right.
Yeah, we need to be able to talk, have conversation, and that turns me on more than anything else. James Craycroft, again, for the love of James. When my wife at the time told me the marriage was over, and this Gigi, you just said something about the way dude left, and it made me think about this comment here. When my wife at the time told me the marriage was over, was through a text. Then we did talk about it. I was devastated, and she showed absolutely no emotions the entire time.
None.
Where is this?
Very much lack of empathy.
This bitch?
And then what they do is, his thing was because of how you guys feel about me. I know how the boys feel about me, or I know how you guys really feel about me. It's always, my actions are really because I know how you feel about me, not because of the things that my actions that I've done to hurt you guys. It's always because of the way you guys feel about
no
me.
accountability.
Yeah.
No accountability.
Zero zilch. Nah.
But you know what? It's almost like it's, I know it hurts your children that he's not around, but it's almost like it's a good thing that they don't have that influence over them, because think
not
about
anymore,
it, that influence could influence them to grow up to be that type of man. So it's a good thing that he's out of the picture.
Next thing
the first year, like I said, when he taught him how to dress. I'm going to give him some credit. He really taught him basketball. He did work with them a lot, helped him a lot with basketball. They lost a lot of weight, just totally turned my son, both of them around, taught him how to be, just taught him he did do some cool points. You know what I'm saying? So when he didn't have things to help financially, I was like, well, he would buy them a lot of clothes, and I was like, okay, he is doing that stuff for them. But after that, when things were getting so bad, it was like down, up, down, up, down, up. You know what I'm saying? Then it just became all down. He just basically removed himself from the boys, and we were still going out. We were still doing stuff together, even though I know he was moving out, just trying to hold on to something. And like you're right, it is best, because if it was still the way it would have been the last couple of years, that now I know my son wouldn't be acting out because he would be too scared because there's a male here, but emotionally there would still be nothing. There would be nothing between him and my boys. They just barely even talked.
Plus, he
And that,
probably,
that one father they had, it just really disappointed him.
Well, people are disposable to narcissists. That's the one thing.
They are.
They throw you away.
Yeah.
They don't have use for you anymore. You are totally disposable on a whole nother level.
I think my 9-year-old son is a narcissist.
And they are opportunists. They are super opportunists. Very much so.
Well, that's the thing. They will step on you to get to where they want to be, and then they will blame
you. And he did.
They stepped on you.
Yep.
And then they
get where they want to be, baby.
You, if they can't find new supply, they will circle back around to the old supply.
They will circle back around. Yep.
We talked about narcissism on our podcast one time, and a girl was on, and she was like, I loved when he had a girlfriend, because when he had a girlfriend, he wasn't bothering me. But when he would break up with somebody, he was back on her because she had his child. And that's another thing. They use the child to abuse you too. You know,
yep.
Use the child to hurt you. So, and all narcissists aren't balanced, like where they do balanced stuff. But that's when you get to that kind of malignant narcissism that is like pathological. That is when they some people, they can be violent, they can hurt kids and hurt people. But there are different types. In the DSM, like it's not different in the DSM. Like the criteria you had in those questions that you were asking, Joseph, those were pretty consistent with what's in the DSM.
What's DSM mean?
Oh, that's the diagnostic manual. That's what we use for diagnosing mental disorders. Okay. So that is.
She was talking about it's going down in the DSM.
No.
Oh no. That's what they use. Yeah.
So it's not broken down into different. People have researched like different types of narcissism, and so there's like covert narcissism, overt narcissism. Like overt is like when people are narcissistic.
So now you got narcissistic spies.
Yeah, it's like a spectrum, kind of like when you have a spectrum of other disorders, but it's still like people are still researching it and stuff. So
Gigi, it was good that you didn't have. Like you said, it's good that he's not around no more, because you don't need your sons, growing up and talking to their girlfriends, talking about some, look at my pretty shit. I got pretty shit, don't I? Girl, look in that toilet. I said, look in that toilet. Eat the cake, anime. Look in that toilet at that pretty ass shit. You don't need
you told him he got pretty shit. He'd be like, yeah, my other girlfriends told me that too. Yeah, I heard that before.
You're nothing.
What is you saying?
Yeah, but look at some of these comments though. Kim K-Day, she says the lack of empathy is real, and they could care less about the pain you are enduring.
They don't care.
That's deep right there. Dr.
If you cry or show weakness in front of them, they get off on that. They love to see you cry. They love to see you show weakness. It like and they just dig even more into that wound.
Damn, I mean, what is this like? Let me see your tears, bitch. Let me see your tears. You ain't crying enough. I mean,
that's what they do. I mean, that's how they feed their ego.
It's a whole other world.
Yeah, that's how they feed their ego. That's why they call it supply. That's how they feed their ego, make them feel better about themselves. Narcissists, they have low self-esteem and low self-worth.
Yeah, they do.
Other people down with them,
Yeah, they'll swear that they have high self-esteem, but deep down there's really something else going on, and they really don't have the self-esteem that they.
Well, no, they have a false sense of self-confidence.
False sense of self-confidence, right?
To show outwardly, they show that they're confident, but really they're very insecure. And so that's the thing, and it's sad because honestly, these people who have narcissism or have the disorder, they usually have had pretty rough stories themselves, or come from things that have happened to them that they haven't healed from. And like I said in the beginning, that they build up a persona, to make them feel like you got bullied when you was younger, and you still hold that, and so when you older now, I'll whoop everybody and I'm this and I'm that. And it's like because they still feel like they ain't healed from feeling like they didn't do what the shame of maybe not handling another situation in a different way, you know? So it's rooted in shame, really. Like a lot of insecurity and stuff is rooted in shame.
Yeah.
Use.
Yeah. What's crazy is that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Joe.
No, I was reading some more comments here because we got a lot of them. Robin Eubanks Mosley, she says they believe love is everything. Forget all the other things in a relationship. Love will hold it together no matter what was done.
She and I actually had a really good conversation in my DM, like when I put it out that we were researching for this show. She's got a very interesting story to share also, and she was interested in coming on.
I thought you was about
to. We'd love to have her come on for next week. I like to do it. They were doing a series part 2 next week.
We may need to do a part 2.
Yeah,
because I feel like we can really help some people. And you see that comment from Kim Nardi. She's got a story to tell too.
Yeah, I saw her down there in her comments.
To know that narcissistic personality disorder is not the only personality disorder. Like a lot of people, they will be like, "Oh, they narcissistic because they have certain traits," but it's like, nah. Sometimes they borderline. Sometimes they antisocial. Like that, there are other traits that those disorders share, and that's why we have to be specific that there is a certain criteria that you have to meet. I think
pimpology.
Yeah,
like sometimes they're just a bad person.
Yeah, my ex-husband had bipolar, so I had to deal with someone who was bipolar. And when you're dealing with someone with bipolar, and these are both military men, we're dealing with someone who's in the military and bipolar. Yeah, you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with highs. I love you, I hate you, I want to kill you, I want to kill myself.
PTSD.
Like I had to deal with him wanting to murder suicide, kill me, my 2 sons by him, my other son, and me, of course, me, and himself as well. Going through mental hospitals, standing there for 2 weeks to a month, leaving, me having to take care of the boys and figure things out, me having to, make sure he was taking his medicine. When he didn't, I instantly knew. When he stopped taking his medicine, we were in danger. Me having to run, scoop up my children and run. I don't know how many times in years of my marriage. So there's all kind of personality disorders when you're dealing with people. It doesn't have to be necessarily with an intimate relationship. Like I said, my mother was a narcissist, and not only that, she had PTSD, and she was abusive. She was abused, so she did what she knew how to do. That was abuse.
I just don't understand like murder suicide. It's like a motherfucker be lazy as hell, and then all of a sudden they want to do a whole lot of work, kill everybody. That's just crazy.
He called the police on himself because he was about to kill everybody in the house, including himself.
What?
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
I don't got no more drink.
Crazy.
I don't got no more drink left.
And I constantly knew. I used to fantasize about my death and how people would see me in my coffin and who was going to cry, who's going to go to my funeral. Because I knew staying in that relationship and that marriage, I would eventually be dead. Every day I just thought about how I was going to die, and just me in my casket. And this was daily. And I knew I had to get out of there eventually, and when I was able to leave. But I fantasized about it because it was inevitable. It was going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to get to these comments.
I think it's important too, before we is like with narcissism to know that your story, like those are real experiences. But sometimes women do villainize men when they don't they want out of the relationship,
Right.
They become the people that want to sabotage, too. And so
let's say this. Whenever whenever things aren't working, people tend to now all of a sudden every little thing becomes a problem, right? When stuff isn't working and you're not working through it, then all of a sudden every little thing becomes a problem.
True.
And you just look at, and so maybe not so much as and I mean, I agree with the villainizing, but I think sometimes it's just the relationship isn't working, so every little thing becomes a problem. So then you start pointing every little thing out, and that in a sense is, you know, where that can come from as well, where somebody's saying, you know, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this, he's this, but really you're just not happy.
Right.
And you probably just need to just get out the relationship because you're just not happy anyway. Whatever was great was broken, and whether y'all not doing the work to fix it or you've done the work and it can't be fixed, then it's just time to get out of the relationship because it's just not working. Now,
like my most recent ex, I would say I wouldn't say like he wasn't a bad person. He just wasn't a good person for me. That's the best way for me to put it.
Right.
Not everybody's a bad person. He just wasn't a good person for me. Like my ex-husband, though, horrible person. I left him so my children wouldn't think that this is what love between a man and a woman would look like and was supposed to be like. And he's over there doing the same stuff to their stepmother that he was doing to me. The difference is I got out. She's staying over there.
Me and you, I think, met each other similar close to the time we both had left our abusive husbands. I left mine in 2007. When did you look? We met in what, 09?
We met.
Oh wait,
did you two trauma bond?
Wait, hold on.
No,
you trauma bonded.
No, we didn't even know.
I met her when I broke up with the guy that lied about his age and lied about being married and all the lies. The lies.
We met through that. We had another podcast. Right.
Yeah.
We had another podcast going on.
Yeah.
I got to get to the rest of these comments here. Got to get through these comments. So Joseph Reed says that's a play out of the break, a chick college playbook. If done mutually, it leads to a balance of empowerment for both or all parties involved. Iceberg Slim may have mentioned it in his documentary. So now we're talking about the pimpish personalities of a narcissist. Kim Nardi says, my parents were great. No trauma until him. My ex did me caveman style, clubbed me over the head and drugged me to a spot. Never loved him, was terrified it was violent. Did he really use a club?
Wow, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I know her personally. That story, we might have to have her on to tell that story if she's comfortable.
I would love to hear
her. You know, I know women that I know women get dragged down the steps by their hair. I mean, just crazy stuff. I don't understand it because, you know, you look, I still think women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. You know what I mean? Like I still believe in that, you know.
Well, sometimes men think they own you until, you know, like they really feel like you're their property. Like some men who are, but I think when it gets to that balance stage, there's definitely like some other stuff.
That's crazy.
That, you know what, and that's how I felt when I was in that relationship. I didn't feel like I was loved. I felt like he was obsessed with me.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like it was ever really love.
And I think when we talked about where the insecurity comes from, I mean, it could be a number of things, but typically, you know, hate begets hate. You know, sexual trauma begets sexual trauma. You know, physical abuse begets physical abuse. So typically, whatever this person is putting out is what they've been through in their past. They saw it, therefore they experienced it. Or they.
Well, I don't know where he would have
felt it
that from, because his mother wasn't like that. Neither was his.
Well, no, I mean, you already explained that he didn't get love from his father. Maybe that's where his father was really not there that much. Just he was an alcoholic.
Well,
and he felt like his father,
and even as an alcoholic, I mean, it wouldn't.
Well, he felt like his father. Only thing his father was here for is to reproduce, make him and his sister. Otherwise, his father should not even been on this earth. But then look at the relationship with him and his two sons and the other kids that he didn't have. I don't know about the other kids that he had, but his two sons their relationship is basically non-existent. So he's the type to, let me just keep doing a redo. I'm gonna just keep doing like Call of Duty. I'm just gonna keep doing a redo. I'm just gonna get this extra life and I'm gonna redo this again. I'm gonna get this another one and I'm just gonna redo this again. But there's no.
Well,
I don't know.
The thing about it is when he asks about where it comes from, it can come from any type of trauma. It can come from any type of, you can build up these ideas about yourself and about you'll change your whole worldview where you are the primary focus, like based on the traumas that you go through. And a lot of it relates to like what they call neuroticism, is where you, your inability, like emotional instability, like basically not being able to like self-regulate when it comes to your emotions. Right. So they experience like not having that admiration, or people not doing something, like it's a shot to them, you know, because they are deeply insecure. So it doesn't have to be like how you say, like sexual trauma. You know, some people, they experience sexual trauma, they might sexually act out, or some people, they get abused, they might. Yeah. A personality disorder can develop from any type of.
Yeah, I feel like you got a 50-50 chance of someone who has had sexual trauma. There's a 50-50 chance of whether they're gonna be act out and be extremely promiscuous and just, you know, get it, or whether they gonna be extremely reclusive, reserved, and you know, I heard a woman say in the past that she only has sex with the men that she was in a relationship because they wanted to, never because she wanted to. Right. You know, and
then you have people like R. Kelly, who, how he dealt with his sexual trauma, being molested by his sister, is going out and becoming a sexual predator as well. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's sometimes if you don't deal with hurt, you might become what it was. You know, like that's why I say sometimes even women or men who deal with narcissistic people, they end up, you know, exhibiting some of those traits just from having dealt with it for years. You know, you have to take on traits of people when you're around them. Either they pick up traits off you, or you pick up traits off them. But yeah, it's and
so
it's a lot.
So here, let me get through. I'm gonna get through the rest of these comments, and then we'll comment and wrap up. But you know, like you said, T, sharing this and, you know, having a part 2, stuff like that, can definitely help some people. Like Shayna Dixon said, this conversation has definitely opened my eyes to previous relationships and hopefully future relationships for any single people out there. You know, they can kind of go through a checklist in their mind and say, hold on, let me jump back on YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify or Instagram, and let me check No Panties After Dark. Let me see
that part right there. That part right there. We helping people.
So exactly. So how much do you all think not having a good example of what being a good man looks like and requires? So how much do you all think not having a good example of what being a good man looks like and requires maybe plays a part?
I think that plays a huge part into it.
Because again, does a woman typically pick the wrong man in a situation like that because she, you know, didn't have a good father to compare him to? And the same thing for a man picking the wrong woman?
It could, but at the same time, like I had a grandfather who was very, you know, much in my life when I lived with my grandmother and grandfather, and he's the one that shot, like he's the reason why I don't touch doors when I go out on dates. I better not touch a fucking door. I better not walk on the outside of the street and different things like that. So when I met my ex, the things that he was doing very much reminded me, you know, the love bombing reminded me of how my grandfather treated me, that kind of like that old school love. But again, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of bullshit. But I don't know why. I think I have myself to blame because when I started seeing different signs, I ignored them and I tried to make things right. I constantly found myself trying to make things right. So there's no way in the world I'm gonna, because of my father was an alcoholic and a drug addict, my biological father, but my father was also a Vietnam War vet with a Purple Heart and PTSD. So I don't want a man who was a drug addict and an alcoholic, but I did crave those type of men who were very similar to my grandfather, even though when they would stop acting like him, or doing those things that I like that reminded me of him, I was constantly trying to crave that and get that back, despite problems.
So does the lack of a good man at a young age plays a major role in the narcissistic adult behavior? Like, does a kid show these traits? Can a kid show narcissistic? Like I said, some of these descriptions, just not being empathetic. My 9-year-old, I hope his mom
sounds like a sociopath to me.
Might be an asshole.
Right.
I think that kids can definitely start to exhibit the traits early on, but
yeah, they can.
Usually, they really won't be diagnosed with that unless they're 18.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, because your personality takes time to develop, and you got to think with kids, they go through adolescence, they go through hormonal changes that change their attitude and beliefs, and sometimes, some things like that.
Scientifically, a human brain is not fully developed until age 21. So I definitely understand that. And I think honestly, in a lot of situations, if we would just take little simple things like that into play as we are grooming our children, nurturing our children, stuff like that, just understand, until age 21, human brain is not fully developed. So that means that everything you do before the fact is either going to help or hinder. So you smoke weed before age 21, you fucking yourself up in a lot of ways that you don't even realize. You could have been great, and now you're not because you started smoking weed. You started drinking.
Now we know what happened to me.
21, you could have been great, but now you're not because you fucking was drinking before 21. There's a problem. You fucked up your brain cells. They weren't even fully developed. There's a problem.
I'm a lost cause, Joe. I'm a lost cause.
Yeah. He's having sex before 21. Therefore, you could have been great, but now you are a narcissist. So it's a problem.
I ain't even get no do-over. I ain't even get no do-over.
How does not
you ain't get no
having a good man?
I ain't get no do-over.
I think the biggest thing to pay attention to in kids
she's working on a do-over right now. I mean, and I think she's trying to audition to be part of the Titty podcast as well.
I mean, well, I have on pajamas. These are pajamas.
I didn't want it to get away from me about the kids, though. I think looking at the kids, really just, making sure that your kids have empathy for other people. Like that they don't have bullying traits, or that competitive nature that is unhealthy. Like, some people are competitive, but then you have people that are overly competitive and very, putting other kids down and, like that kind of stuff, so I would just pay attention to that kids development, like I have a son that's a football star, and like over his years, he was so, he built up a lot of arrogance about himself, but I had to make sure I retained that you don't think you better than nobody else, like you are better at this, than a lot of people, but you're not better than them as a human being or as a person,
Right. I'm working with my daughter on that right now. She's like a mini Regina George, and she's very popular at school. She's very pretty. Everybody wants to be her friend, and she's the leader of the friend group. Been working on her with that because I was like, I cannot raise Regina George.
A mean girl. You don't want a mean girl.
No.
This is what I'm talking about. See, the covert narcs are so cunning, charming, loving, and the grand performance in front of other people until you are one on one, and their demon traits come out. So if you try to
that
share
part
your
right
story,
there,
demon time,
no one would believe you because of the public charm. Okay.
It be demon time behind closed doors, but they're very charming, very charming.
I feel better now because I was like, damn, they're charming. Like, I'm charming too. And the grandpa, but I'm the same whether the people here or whether people ain't.
Yeah,
I think
they are charming, but usually
I will
vouch
for Joe.
Yeah,
I would vouch for Joe. I've known Joe a lot of years. We've been close friends for a lot of years. Joe is a great guy. I would vouch for you, Joe. You are not a narcissist.
No, he's not.
Don't let him carry me away.
I will vouch for Joe every day of the week.
That's what's up. So what is this? I appreciate that. Joseph Reeves says, I had a major TBI in 2000. A TBI. For a second, I thought in my head I was like UTI, but a major TBI in 2000. If I had not studied the psychological effects, I would not have found myself. Head injuries from sports or bicycle accidents as children play a role. Oh man, that's what's up, Joe. You're not a narcissist. You're a stand-up. Preacher's kid turned out good. Oh, thank you, bro. I was bad for a minute though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yes, read Shayna's comment. They're charming with an agenda. You ain't never lied.
Absolutely.
And then get mad because you tell them that because you're on air always.
I didn't even know.
Because when they get mad at you for you thinking that they're a certain way, but then they end up in exactly what you thought they were. But they were mad at you because you thought they were.
It's just crazy to me that people think like that.
The way you are.
Yeah, it's just crazy that people think like that and they set out with this agenda and I'm gonna be this over here so that way nobody will believe me when you say that. That's crazy to me that people think like that and put that together. Like, who thinks like that? Like, I can't even. Yeah, that's crazy to me.
Ain't that? I feel like you're a certain way, but then you show me that you're exactly who you are, but you got mad at me because I told you that's who I thought you were.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's craziness.
What?
That people actually think like that, and that's, I can't wrap my brain around it. How people sit and that's just crazy,
girl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My office hours are from 9 to 5. No, I'm just
Girl, come
on, Big Red. Come on, Big Red.
I'm telling you.
Right.
That's how I had to do my ex-husband when he texted about the kids. Like, we got certain hours. Now, you can only contact me during these certain hours. I'll be up. I'll be on my phone. I'll see that text come through. I will not answer it.
My office hours.
During those office hours.
My office hours are 9 to 5.
To 5. Big Red.
Play Big Red. Oh, what we playing? What's this?
Not how to be narcissist. Joe's
Big
a
Red.
Come on.
Witnessed narcissists getting intense criticism, blowback, and scrutiny, and thought, I too would like to have that kind of attention. And have you ever wanted to know that
what the hell is wrong with
you're more important than other people? But maybe you haven't known how to demand the attention you deserve while knowing the world revolves around you. You've probably even thought there's no hope for you. But that all stops now, because today I'm going to teach you how to become a purebred narcissist. Kill your empathy. When someone's pouring their heart out and sharing their pain and suffering with you, you want to lead with a sociopathic forward level of disconnection and finish with after notes of condescension.
I can't believe she did this to me.
Seems like you brought that all on yourself. Gaslight people you're in a relationship with. When you say something horrible to people, which is often because they deserve it, and then they bring it up later, deny it, and psychologically twist it around to make them feel like they're crazy for accurately remembering what you said. Because they are crazy.
I feel so hurt when you make me feel stupid.
I don't make you feel stupid.
Last night you literally said you're so stupid for overcooking a chicken.
No, I said chickens are stupid animals. They'll literally peck each other to death. You need to pay closer attention to what I say.
Yeah.
Do be lying.
We should be Make everything about you. Lazy people let things that don't have anything to do with them not be about them. But narcissists know how to take things that aren't about them and make them about them because they are about them. So you'll want to insert yourself right into the middle of any conversation or situation so other people will know that their world should revolve around you.
I just got this new couch and pillows. It makes the room feel so cozy.
I'm glad I could buy this house and make all the money that made this possible. You're welcome. Command compliments. When people are too stupid to notice what they should be complimenting you about, help them out in the most charitable way possible by holding their hand and walking them right into the compliment they should be sharing with you. No one hits the gym harder than me. How do my abs look to you?
They look good. They look pretty ripped.
They do, don't they? Think you're the greatest. With anything you do, there's a judge and jury that gets to decide who the greatest is. And that judge and jury is you, because you're the greatest judge and jury of all time. So with whatever you're doing, be sure to remember that you're the greatest. I have the best YouTube channel on the whole internet.
What about Casey Neistat and Miranda Sings? They have like 15 times more followers than you.
Those are fake followers, and they don't know how to make real videos. Manipulate. Instead of asking for what you want and risking the feeling of rejection if they say no, take away a person's ability to say no by not asking for what you want. In its place, get them to do what you want them to do without them knowing they're doing it for you. This will leave them used and you in control. You've always been really intelligent with wise investment opportunities. I've always admired that about you. I've actually got one of those opportunities right here we could use your money for, unless I was wrong about you.
Oh, no. Like that looks like a great investment for us to make.
Yeah, if you think so. Believe everything you think with certainty. Humbleness is a sign of insecurity, weakness, or being Japanese, but probably all three. Instead of embodying that poison, as a narcissist, the graceful arrogance of being certain that everything you think is absolutely true because you thought of it is a much better fit.
I don't think that water filter is working.
No, it's working right. I installed it myself.
Yeah, but the water is brown.
No, it's not. You are getting hysterical and you're clearly delusional. Guys, now you know how to be a purebred narcissist so you can get the attention and significance that you deserve. And also now, when your ex-girlfriend is whining to her friends about how you were such a narcissist, she won't just be lying and victimizing herself anymore. She'll be telling the truth, which will be nice for a change. In addition to thanking my abs for sponsoring this video, I want to thank Element Recharge for sponsoring this video. I'll just put my shirt on so I can pretend like I'm humble. I've been drinking Element Recharge every day and in the mornings and while I work out so I can be super well hydrated so I can feel my best. I've always looked at hydration as the #1 thing you can do for your health and energy. But here's the thing, drinking water is only part of the equation. You can't be well hydrated unless you have the right electrolytes with your water. And a lot of electrolyte supplements are not only inferior, but they're also loaded with sugar. And in my opinion, it is insane to drink sugar to get electrolytes. That's like using beer to wash down your vitamins. That's where Element Recharge comes into play. It's got a scientifically formulated balance of electrolytes, and it contains 0 sugar, artificial flavorings, or any other junk. It's just pure, balanced, potent electrolytes, and it tastes great. And it also comes with a no...
My bad. I thought we was still watching Narcissistic.
Yeah, he lost me.
Why watch the electrolytes?
Gotta pay some bills. I definitely get it.
Okay.
Joseph Reeves says, "Is it a state of denial?" Shayna Dixon, she says, "Yeah, but then it's your fault that you're actually onto them, so they're still going to do a mind trick on you and make you question if you're really the problem." So, well, I tell you what, ladies, this is empty, and
mine been empty.
Yeah, mine gone. I gotta get ready.
It's about that time.
Boys will be home in a minute. Gotta, get the dinner together or fix it up.
Watch, your son gonna come in and be like, "Mama, look at my doo-doo. I got some perfect doo-doo in there. You should
No, my son. Not my son.
Doo-doo." No, but for reals, I tell you what, this has been a very enlightening show. I definitely wanted to end it with a little bit of comedy to lighten it up a little bit because, y'all just over here dropping bricks, heavy bricks out there. It's tough, because, I again, when I think of narcissists, I think of men. I don't think of women as narcissists, but there's the love of James, right?
There definitely are some.
So I just, all I can say is that, honestly, there's a lot of fucked up people out here, and I don't want to meet them. I don't care to know them. So
me either.
That's my wrap up 2 cents for the end of the night. Sis, LaQuisha, appreciate you. Any last words before, anything person can do? Listen, I do want to say this. If you plan on, murdering your narcissist or anything like that, just take it off of our YouTube channel when you do that. I don't want to have us associated with that. I don't want any backlash. But at the same time, I am a life insurance agent, licensed in like 25 states across the U.S. So
call Joe before you do it.
Yeah, call me before so we can at least focus on getting you some type of financial
you're gonna
repercussions.
need it for your legal bills.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Kill him, get out of jail. Sounds like a plan.
We ain't shit.
Exactly. LaQuisha's like, these motherfuckers are
I ain't got nothing to do with it. I didn't hear
perpetrating me. I ain't trying to be perpetrated.
It don't implement me or nothing, child.
But I would say there's a book that's really good.
Yes.
Called Men Who Hate Women and the Women Who Love Them. And
sounds like niggas that's locked up that's getting fan mail.
Yeah. Well, and also Codependent No More is a good one because that's about emotional codependency. And a lot of times narcissists end up with people who are codependent.
So, empaths. We're called empaths. Yeah.
So Codependent No More, I think that's by Melanie. I think her name is Melody Beatty. And then the other one is, I forget her name, but it's called, I think it's a white book with red letters, but it says, Men Who Hate Women and the Women Who Love Them. But it talks about the love bombing. It talks about those world that happen so fast. You get so caught up in them, and then it start changing, and you really didn't see it coming. So but that's a good one. And I would just say, we as adults, especially at this age, we got to take our time to get to know people. It takes time to see a person's personality.
Yes, you cannot get to know someone through their booty, fellas. Stop. All right, stop. It's not just about sex, man, because once the sex is over with and you're bored, guess what? You want to have something more there to be able to do. You want to be able to talk to this person.
Exactly. So stay out of my DMs, big dog.
Exactly.
Yeah, stay out of my goddamn DMs. Shit. Matter of fact, I don't even read them. You know what? I'll be ignoring them. So most of the DMs I ignore. That should be left in message requests.
And I would really counseling if you have been with a narcissist, because usually people who've been with a narcissist need to unpack that.
So tell them how they can reach out to you to get a session with you.
My email is laquisha.moore@gmail.com. It's laquisha.moore@gmail.com. Also can be reached at Levitate Counseling at gmail.com. And that's LEVITATE.
And that's V like Victor, right?
Yeah,
Victor.
And so, and then my phone number, I use my same phone number for business and personal, but it's 502-315-9969.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you for coming to and blessing us on our podcast.
No problem. I enjoyed talking to y'all.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And I still believe that you and Jasmine Presley should really look at y'all's family tree. Because I swear y'all look alike. I'm telling you.
Think so?
I think y'all, maybe I'm just saying it because of the dreads and the complexion, but I don't know. Y'all look like y'all could be related. And
well, I think she's very pretty, so I don't have a problem being compared to.
Y'all could be related, so I think y'all should look up the family tree. So I'm just saying, Big Sean and Fabulous figured that out.
It might be my cousin somewhere.
Exactly. Big Sean and Fabulous figured it out just because fans was talking about it, and then they went and did the research and found out that they were literally brothers. Jersey versus New York. Daddy was a Rolling Stone.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
I love Big Sean. I did not know that him and Fabulous was brothers.
Yep.
I know that either.
And he didn't want to bring it out or talk about it much because he didn't want people to think he got in the game because of Fabulous.
But that's amazing that they both ended up doing that, and they were.
Right.
Joe stay dropping jewels on us.
That's the importance of sperm is strong. Sperm holds a lot. Can't do shit.
Okay, Elon Musk daddy.
Okay.
Hey, you know, like Elon said, he was just contributing to the underpopulation.
It was his daddy, his 76-year-old daddy.
But remember, Elon Musk, he had twins recently, and he was saying that he was just contributing to the underpopulation of Earth.
That's what he said.
Yep.
That's what he said.
But hey, tonight, great show. Absolutely love it. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody out there. Shout out to you too for the love of James. That's his new name now. And
thank you so much, James. Thank you, everyone.
We're gonna work on that whole thing because I think that would be dope to
I think so
fix
too.
him up.
I can't wait.
Somebody dope,
Right.
and then we would be responsible,
wait.
and then we could have all the love and adoration for being responsible for that. And so every time they come on and they comment together, then we can say yes, you guys are welcome. Not because we're narcissists or anything like that.
Right.
No,
Thank you, everyone, in
no
the
panties at the
comments.
dark wedding.
Thank you, comment section. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
As always.
Until next week, same place, same time. It is No Panties After Dark.
I love it.
Peace,
Have
y'all.
a good night.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks for joining us.